Hey, Blackburn Social Club, God bless America. Talking boots. I was actually going to do a just talking where we could, just hang out for a little bit, but then I realized that 80% of the topics were going to be about boots or future boot purchases. Maybe get some opinions on next boots to look for. So I guess it's talking boots. Not a bad thing. It's just I don't want you guys to think that I'm myopic. I'm not one-sided. I got so many other skills that we could talk about, but mostly boots. Hang tight. Before I go anywhere, shameless plug, Blackburn Social Club t-shirts. I've still got a box over there that's got plenty of sizes left for most people. So if you guys are interested, this is the curator of the coveted shirt. I call it the Chief. And pretty much anywhere in America, domestic. With all the tariffs going on, I've had a lot of people reach out from overseas, and it's not even reasonable to ship internationally. So I don't know how some of these folks do it, but for you guys in America, congratulations, you've got more supply in the merchandise section. So checking the link down below if you're interested. Now, talking boots. So I didn't sleep much last night, so let me apologize early on for all rambling and incoherent mumblings that you might hear in this video, but I'm trying to get a lot of thoughts processed. Just this last week, I actually I don't know if I can say the COVID word, but I feel like I had it, and I made sure to stay clear of everybody, but lost all sense of taste and smell, and had the headaches and the flu and whatnot, and it wasn't pleasant, but I think I'm on the mend now. Now, here's the point. I'm X minutes in, and like I said, this is the hangout part, but we're going to get to the point. You guys saw where Truman dropped that work boot line, and so topic number one is going to have to do with this incessant messing with last. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I am in celebration of that new drop. I am wearing my black oiled rough out 20 last in their mock toe and the commando sole. Love this boot. This is the 11 and a half in a 20 last. And the 20 last has always had a taller profile on that toe box, just been a taller boot, and it's always been roomy. And they have always recommended that you size down a half in their 20 last. And I went ahead and sized true to size because you guys know I've got a boot sock fetish. And the more I'm studying, I guess the more I'm doing this, the more I'm experiencing, either multiples of Truman or multiple boot makers, multiple last, the more I'm deciding that I'm okay even sizing down to an 11 in a lot of stuff, even the 79 last. And I know I've said that in several other videos. Usually I can get by with a boot sock on all 11 and a halves. And when I go to an 11, I'm starting to find myself more comfortable in an 11. But long story short is this is an 11 and a half in a roomy last. And I have been waiting. Truman started teasing that work boot and had everybody, stoked. I mean, you watch the comments, you watch the videos, and everybody's tickled and waiting and anticipating when they're going to drop this. But I have personally been eyeballing that heavy lug. I wanted that when we found out he was going to drop a Java waxed flesh and that 20 last with a heavy lug. I was locked in. So I've waited through the last 3 or 4 different boot drops of theirs. And last night I kind of had a panic moment. I was actually at dinner with some friends, and Gabe sent me an email. I mean, we've been watching the site. Just trying to figure out when he was going to do it. And then he'd say, these are dropping this weekend. And then he dropped them early on a Friday night, which I guess it's the weekend. But anyway, Gabe sent me the email and said, hey, they're up. So I immediately went on, and I kept trying to check out, and I was doing it in a rush. And it was telling me that it was out of stock. So I was bummed because I thought, damn, that's, everybody went after that boot quickly. And so I got home from dinner, and I was kind of pissed the whole evening because I was like, man, I've been waiting for a month and a half on these boots to drop, and I hit them, an hour after they posted or whatever, and they were sold out. So I went on and tried again, and turns out it was just a glitch with something, maybe something in my cart or something, maybe there was an old boot in my cart, and that's what it was telling me. But long story short, they had the sizes that I was looking for, and so then I paused for a minute. And I started reading their website just to make sure, because I was like, let me make damn certain that I get this right. Because you guys know, Truman here lately has, when they started dropping this talk about this work boot, they also started talking about making those changes to the last. And which I don't necessarily get. I'm not here to nitpick, but I don't understand when you've got the entire world of boot followers that are very familiar with your last, and you've got nomenclature that is so, like everybody in the boot forums knows 79, 20, 56. Everybody knows what they mean. Everybody knows the size. Why would you change that? I don't know. But they changed the wording, so now it's a work last, casual last, and a dress last, I think, or formal. I mean, you guys, by all means, please jump in the comments and tell me. But I think that's the 3: formal or dress, casual, and now work. But then on top of that, Vince talked about adding volume to the boot. And so I saw some of those videos, and I was like, oh crap! Now we're you're taking all the people that knew exactly what they needed and knew exactly what shape to, what to go for, and you just paused them for a minute. So that's what I was doing. I was in that moment, and I was reading the page, and it was like, hey, don't worry. They've got a page dedicated to helping you understand the sizing. And, they're like, it's really simple, but I'm telling you, I just hate that we changed something that I knew. Because like in this case, I knew 100% that I was going to go to an 11, and that was going to get me a better fitting 20. But long story short, after reading all that stuff, I did order the Java waxed flesh, heavy lug, in a size 10.5, which I just followed their recommendation. They said, because the last is roomier and bigger and it's been adjusted, go a full size down. So I did. So I've got a 10.5 coming. And we'll see. We'll see. I am kind of sliding forward. I am getting to a place where I think I'm exhausted on Truman boots, and that's not a knock against anything about Truman. Y'all know I'm 60%, 70% of my boots are Truman boots. So my value score that I give them is extremely high. But I think you do, and it's kind of like the way I got with Parkhurst, is once you've been to a website so dadgum often, and you're seeing the same thing over and over and over, you just kind of get satiated with it. You just get to a point where there's the excitement is a little bit gone. And so I know I had mentioned this in one of my communications with EDH Boulevard, Gabe. I said just that. I said, once I get this pair of boots, because I knew I was going to get this heavy lug pair of boots. I mean, I knew I was going to get it. And I'm going to say this: if that 10.5 does not fit right, and I send it back, I think I'm not even sure I'm going to order it in the 11, because I'm just kind of at that point where it's like, okay, the rotation is out of control at this point. I know there are people out there with way more boots than I got, but I'm getting to the place where there is zero wear on any of my boots, because, save one or two pair that I just beat the hell out of. And I really want to kind of back down for a moment and start wearing these things, and maybe even revisiting, like I said, my sizing. Maybe even going back to some of those 11.5s and really challenging, do I want to keep wearing, a loose boot, big sock combo? Which, by the way, let me pause for a minute and just talk about it's not lost on me that I'm 13 minutes into a video just talking about boots and sizing and stuff. It's crazy that we have this community, and I'm appreciative of it. I think it's kind of slick to have a group of friends out there that I can talk to, and we have all this stuff in common. So it's interesting to me anyway. If nobody watches this, that's okay. It's interesting to me just to sit out here and pretend like I'm talking to somebody about it. But anyway, I may be going back and listing some more boots in those 11.5 sizes just to get down to that more ideal fit. And I know and I'm sorry, Gabe, I'm just wearing you out on this one, because Gabe and I talk off YouTube and emails, and so a lot of those conversations that he and I are having is, he's busting my chops, going, "Are you positive you're 11.5? Because you keep describing needing a smaller size, and it is that way." And so, like I've said this before, and I don't know if it's because of the weight that I've lost. I think that's got a lot to do with it. I do know that I have a slimmer foot. It's not narrow by any means, but the ball of your feet, right up here, that can still be wide, but it doesn't necessarily mean your toes are taking a right and a left, So my toes, and I'm not ever going to show my toes on camera. So if you're here for that, wrong channel, bro. So that being said, my toes are pretty much, when I'm barefoot or when I'm in flip-flops or slides or whatever, my toes are pretty much naturally tapered to the inside, but the ball of my feet, right there at the widest part, is still kind of wide. So I don't think my toes splay as much as some others, and so I think that's why, I can still manage the 79 last. But as I'm losing weight, or as I've lost weight, I think I'm just not needing as much of that bigger boot as I used to need. I don't know if that's bizarre or not. Maybe I've always bought a too big a damn boot. Either way, I might be selling some of those 11.5s just because I'm finding that 11s are fitting a little bit better, and they're locking on my heel a little bit more, and I'm starting to, let me feed up to this, because this is where I'm going. This is, as if the last 15 minutes wouldn't put you to sleep. Where I'm going with this is I finally sold a couple more pair of my boots. So I finally sold, if you've been following the eBay stuff, I've been posting some of the ones that I don't wear as much, and I'd posted those Truman Oxblood double shots. Those finally sold, believe it or not, to somebody back in Eugene, Oregon. So those are going home. And then I sold the Sage, who was it? I don't remember the collab that Nigel Caborn, the collab with Red Wing on those mock toes. Those were a size 12, and really they were always a little bit too big, but so those finally sold. So now I'm sitting on my boot stash, and I'm looking at next boots to buy, and so that's one of the things I was going to mention was on this conversation was I'm kind of looking for input. What's out there that you guys know that I haven't got that I need to go get, because here's a few that I've been looking at. One is, y'all know I've got a decision to make on the Knicks, so that's going to be another boot turn that I'm getting ready to make. So when one of those Knicks goes away, then I'm going to need I'm going to be looking for something else. So with the recent sale of a few, with that upcoming sale, I've been looking forward, and I've still got the review to do on the Viberg 310s. And let me go ahead and just tease that for a moment. Holy shit. That is first of all, I mean, if you don't like the Viberg 310, that's fine. I'm not going to pick on you. I'm not going to say anything about it. But let me just tell you, when I opened that boot and literally looked at it, it's an impressive boot, and I put it on, and I'll go into when I'll do that video at some point in time. I'll put it on and I'll talk about everything I feel about it, but it's just an impressive boot. So I wasn't sure I was going to like it. I wasn't sure about but I know the 20 Last has a sprung toe, but that Viberg has that 310 has a pronounced sprung toe, more so than the 20 Last. And so I wasn't sure, but there again, I mean, y'all know the point of the channel. Once I got it, I mean, I love that. I mean, that's a nice boot. And so it's got me looking at more 310s, which again has me, frankly pissed at the prices. So then I started looking at other brands. I mean, there's obviously a bunch of knockoffs of that boot. Crush On Retro makes one. I can't remember what they call it, Lumberjack or something like that. I mean, that's maybe something. I'm trying to think of what else I could get in that space that would be cool. One of the boots that I've really been studying is this John Lofgren. I think they call it a combat boot or a service boot. I mean, I really like the way it looks. It's kind of a dressier. I don't want to call it an Iron Ranger, but that's kind of what it resembles. Or at least it's got that kind of look. It's got the Vibram cork type sole, Western, V-bar sole, or not a Western, but a V-bar sole. And so anyway, I've been looking at that, but those are stupid money. I mean, stupid money for some of these brands. So my question to you guys is in that vein of boots, what should I be looking for? And drop in the comments, because I mean, I do like the service boots, but I'm really liking these. I don't want clown toe. I don't want nothing. With the big swollen. Like I said, Ronald McDonald clown boots. But some of these guys are nailing that service boot category. And so anyway, that's what I'm looking for next. So you guys tell me what I should be looking for. Like I said, Crush On Retro's got some. I've seen. Who else was making? I mean, I know that Thursday's got the brawler looking boot, and I don't think I'm down with that. And so there's several out there, but you guys tell me. There was another boot that I was thinking about that was, it's a Goral boot, Goral, and they call it a brass wire boot or brass wire construction. So I think you can go find a few videos on that. Rose Anvil did a review, and I don't know if it's a review as much as it's a partnership or a collab, because I know Rose Anvil does a lot of collabs with this boot company, so I don't know if I trust whatever. But so anyway, that's a boot that I've been looking at, but it's also expensive to be coming from that far away and not knowing anything about it. There's a John Cheney. They make a boot that I've been eyeballing, but I'm not sure about. I saw a video online just because I'm nervous about spending $500 plus on a pair of boots, only to find out that they're piss poor made. And so I was looking at reviews of that Cheney boot, whatever it's called, and one of the first ones that it pulled up said that if you're going to beat it to hell, don't get this boot, get a Tricker boot. So then I started looking at Tricker. So anyway, I'm down the rabbit hole is what I'm getting at, and I'm clearly going that way on this video. So apologies for the length, but you know, I needed a reason to come out here and talk to you guys. I wasn't sleeping, so might as well. You can tell the sun's starting to finally come up. It's getting a little bit lighter in here, so you guys be blessed. I'll kill it with that comment. We'll be done. But like I said, if you guys are interested in the shirts, go to the link below. While we still got them, I'm going to keep pushing them, and then when they're gone, and we can move on. So if any of you guys sitting on a lot of money, just buy me out so I'll quit having to advertise them. Just kidding. I'll just make another one. You guys be blessed. Talk soon. Coffee's cold now.